Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Danganronpa. Today, we're, in the dumps, I guess? What do we gotta examine here? We got four things. So we got this. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Surprised you live. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. And over here. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school garbage pit? So, just the door then? Okay. Rattle, rattle! It's locked. Rattle, rattle. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure such liquid? How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around a bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides, but that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was get in the fetal position and cry. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. This is the only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. Can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, when I fell from the sky, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. A runch? What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched a pile of garbage jostled and jostled and formed an odd state. What? Jostled and formed an odd state. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? I mean, garbage? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched out my hand towards whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude. Before he should even emerge from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Yeah? I like your hat. It's very fitting. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a little bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way towards my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. What else is in there? There's an unbelievable amount of trash here. I actually kind of thought there was just going to be a lot of food in there, not Kyoko. Okay, hi. But Kyoko, why'd you come and rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. You don't say that. You didn't abandon me. I mean, she did kind of abandon you. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make an excuse, or make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive,
in other words,
is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have a reason for coming to Hope Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once. Until recently, I had forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible! Amnesia? That's Then is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and then I woke up. I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that very point my memory was gone. At that time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what made you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems too much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I am positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. Which is why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind's one of us? If she would leave that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it can only make sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
I mean, yeah, I can see that. I think... I don't know. I kinda... Maybe this is like... Just because I'm the main character perspective, like, I definitely feel like she could have come to me about it. But... Oh, man. Maybe it's Hero. He just puts up the... Oh, maybe. That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be a mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. The intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I
understand. Do you understand, Makoto?
I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Gah! Just like the dream I had before. But why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. Just hearing voices. It is nothing, right? Thoughts.
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. I guess we can just keep talking to you? You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Shocking! The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Oh. No. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child, as it turns out. He became the headmaster of Hope Peak's Academy. Kyoko's dad? Is Hope Peak's headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us that he thought the headmaster was involved... Wait, when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what? So...
Kyoko? What's going on? Dots! My memory hadn't come back at that point. But when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose of coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I've seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So,
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout in the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Murokuro's profile and the key. The map showed the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if it was true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
Once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. That seems like a huge oversight from the mastermind, though? Maybe they didn't have that many cameras? I don't know, that seems kind of odd, because we seem to have, like, well, the mastermind seems to have, like, infinite amount of everything, right? So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get the chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Hello again, Kyoko.
However,
Of course, once I got to the second floor, blah blah blah, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro, whatever, Iku Saba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. And I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then, who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Murokuro was to get me killed. Get you killed?
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? Yeah, clearly. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. I mean, they make the regulations. They could just kind of reword them. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore. Yeah.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. But that goes against the regulation. It was a setup. It was a false trial. It was just used to directly kill you, but we tried to kill ourselves with it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may have not become the victim. There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... yeah, flashback to the other night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. Oh, okay. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this,
Anyway,
which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away, and as I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran to your room. When I saw what was happening, I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever that masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It was all the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. I don't know, I don't see how, if they're bound to the rules, they could do that and not just send, the spears out to kill you. So all this would happen. So all this would mean that whoever killed Makuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if it's true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Makuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Makuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. And I don't think the ultimate despair is just one, but I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, whoever is responsible for that. That's the ultimate despair?
It seems
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100 Mile Dash. It's an interesting chapter, that's for sure. Oh, we're back down to 6? To be continued. Got Dream Island Rocket. Okay. 5 alive. I don't need the save right now, I think. The Ultimate Despair. A group of people that caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity? Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. And figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Okay, but like, hi? Kyoko, do you have that one thing? Do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital piece of, a vital part of steering the mastermind. I would never part with it. It can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door then. So, door? Hey, Kyoko, can you use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. I would suck if you couldn't. We just stuck down together. Yeah, it's opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good, but couldn't like Monokuma just be like waiting outside this door with like a machine gun? Finally, we were finally free. But there wasn't any time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Good shading there, game, thank you. The ladder was impossibly long, and I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey,
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
so
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then is your family famous?
wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh, but how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up information about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. Sure, we'll just go with that. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that. Dots.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting with after all those years, right? Well, you would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the family. He was so talented. He had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. He had cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather's, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I had gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Hiyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that, compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
There's one thing. The one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. It was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of the family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I mean, yeah, it's pretty shitty of him to abandon her as a child. But I wonder what the reason was, though. Was it just the detective thing? Was he just a bad father? I don't know. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow, but he already was out of your life. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, I guess. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. I don't think he forgot. Maybe he... I mean, it's kind of hard to forget about a child you had, right? Ignored? Probably, yes. Almost definitely, but... completely forget about? I guess if he was inhuman about it, maybe. I don't know. But your family, they just cut him out of his... Okay, they're not family, though. Dog. Like, he abandoned her.
Wrong.
They're not family. The only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? No, it's not. Only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Blood doesn't always make you family. It does a little bit, but, you know, if someone abandons you, obviously they're not your family, right? I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope Peak Academy is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my hand right up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... we stood up, and all of a sudden, machine guns started blaring. Looks like we're back.
Phew.
But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. What are we looking at here? Trash room. Hi. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then,
Let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we find out, and it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind's ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuru's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still super uneasy about this, but we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay. Are you sure? Because that's where the spares
go?
were. I guess we can go to the gym then. Yeah, we could teleport probably. Is there anyone else in the hall? No. Okay. I'm assuming they're all in the gym then. So let's go say hi. Hey guys, back from the garbage pit. Sorry, would have taken a shower before coming here, but Kyoko said we should have come just do this. No one's here.
Well now.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. And are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to cancel. Or cancel chance. Kyoko?
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. Kyoko? What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now,
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? I lose?
Hey!
You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up the latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
In response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. More than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well. That's...
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuru. You did. That's...
Listen to me.
So, executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? Huh. And that means I lose. You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto.
Well,
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? You make such bold claims with a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only one ever absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so loved to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. And you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. That's... So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for
And it's time for one last showdown.
one final battle
Oh.
between hope and despair.
I didn't know you were speaking there. Sorry, Kyoko.
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our last chance, or this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Murakuro's killer, of the masterminds themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'd probably just execute me without another word. That's interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for beer jokes. Now, what you said might be plausible. God damn it. God damn it, game. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
Oh, if we do things your ways, that will be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
Guys!
So this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely
then there'll be enough to
contain myself.
qualify a victory as a fuck off. God damn it. So that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, well, we all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I just can picture Makoto just standing there like, how did I get here in life? Like, how is this happening to me? But before we get started, I want to clarify one thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, then that's when the class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? That is a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Makuro is no exception to that. Huh? Makuro's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyways, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people that take to take a single step in hopes peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Dots. Why do you go so quiet all of a sudden? Dots. I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going, I guess. You just really, oh, was that Kyoko? You're really gonna let me go? Dots? Huh, I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyways. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper deluxe special or extra special special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey.
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. I mean, I feel like from last time he should have already disqualified themselves, right? Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. Because, like, he totally set it up, right? He went against his regulations. And just like that, we were out of the gym. Dots. I can hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. Again, I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Dots. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. But I guess we'll continue this next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, press like and below. If you're not subscribed yet, when you have my video section, check out some of the content, see if it's to your liking. If you're to watch me live stream at twitch.tv/ChronosPlays, give my channel a follow to be notified when I go live. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great day.